back to episode 13 of our podcast. You heard what I said. I'm JP. As always, I got my brothers with me, Dwight and Latif. What up? What up?
What up?
What's up, people?
So, we were going to record last week, but, one of us was on vacation. We was going to try to record while you was on vacation at a remote location somewhere in the world, but we ain't get it together. But, welcome back to the land of the new president. You know what I'm saying? You was out in the tropical area, man. How was it?
Yeah. Cool, man. I watched the inauguration highlights from there. I had to leave in case the Proud Boys took the country back. You know what I'm saying? But I was still underneath the rule of the United States. I went out to Puerto Rico and had a good time out there, man. We stayed in didn't stay in San Juan. When I went out there a couple of years ago, we stayed in San Juan. So this year we stayed on the west side of the island first, town called Rincon, which is a big...
What island is this?
This is Puerto Rico. What?
Oh, no, you didn't say.
Okay.
Nah, stayed in Rincon, which is on the west side of the island first. And then we were going to stay in Fajardo, which is on the east side of the island, about 45 minutes from San Juan, the second half of the trip. So we drove all the way back and stopped in a town called Ponce before. Had a great time though, man. I was out there for 6 days. Needed a vacation. Hadn't been on vacation in about 6 months.
Nice.
Deserved. Well,
did a lot of good eating. Zip line for the first time, which was dope.
Crazy,
man.
Yeah,
that shit.
Yeah. Yo, I'm telling you, the spot we went to had 11 passes, right? The first one I was scared. First one I was terrified because I had never done that shit before, and I made the mistake of looking down when I was going 30 miles an hour up in the air. So the first thing I'm thinking, and before you go on the zip line, they make you sign mad waivers.
Mad waivers?
Like,
why mad waivers? Not one?
You ain't suing us for nothing. I don't care what. That's basically what they said. So you sign that shit away, and then you get up 100 feet in the air and like, oh, wow. Something happens. If I am lucky enough to live, I can't even get no money. I'm just walking around like the head detective off of In Living Color. So the first time we went through, like, it wasn't as, it wasn't fast, but it was just like, wow, up in this air, it's kind of scary. Then the second path we did was a lot faster, you know what I'm saying? But it was kind of cool. And you see other people, holding their phones up and shit. It's like, well, damn, I can't be soft the whole thing. So after like the third or fourth joint, I got a little bit, cocky. By the eighth joint, I'm talking shit to y'all. I got videos of some of y'all like, yo, y'all should have caved, y'all whacked. But it was cool. So you got a little hike, and then, you got to rappel down like 2 spots, and then it's back-to-back joints on one. So it was cool to do that. And, then another spot, we went to Fajardo. We were at the main beach, which was kind of crowded. But, we had drinks, we had other treats with us and all that. I didn't want to be the ugly American out there, acting crazy. So find another beach that we heard, it was like, you had to hike of like 25, 30 minutes to get there through this trail. You know what I mean? So I'm like, shit, it's 85 degrees, 86 degrees, equal amount humidity. I got 7-pound bag of ice, a bottle of honey jack in a knapsack, towels and shit, bucket on, I'm sweating through the bucket. But, we get there, when you get there, it's like, you can see it. And I put the video on IG, actually. You walking through, you can see the little canopy, with the bushes and all that, and you see the little blue water. Then when you get out there, that shit just come up and like, ah! And it's nuts because it was a big-ass beach, and there couldn't have been more than 8 other people on it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
yeah,
dope.
Not a lot of people in the water. And if you walked another 10 minutes, it was an adult beach there. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to go there and, bump into a whole bunch of people who thought it was a nudist shit and would have made me uncomfortable. So we stayed at the
swinging, man.
I don't know. If you can guarantee me it's going to be, King magazine models in there, walk another half hour. You know what I'm saying? But, we all know that's not the case.
Right. No.
So, walked through, had a good time at the beach, drank a lot of mojitos, ate great food. Puerto Rico has great food. So it was just good to get away. And being on the other side of the island away from San Juan, it's less touristy. You know what I mean? So you get more the, authentic stuff that you want to get to. But yeah, man, it was a great trip. I can't wait to go on another one, which probably won't be into the into the summer. But one thing I realized, especially over the last few years, especially, I don't know, we got dudes that's younger than us that's dying of heart attacks and
Right.
having strokes and all that shit. And I will not. I'm going to stop saying, well, I'm gonna wait until I get this in order to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait until this happens in order to do that. Gotta live my life. So it's gonna be tough sledding around here for the next week. But
absolutely,
it was worth it. You know what I'm saying?
And it was necessary.
Yeah, necessary.
It was necessary.
10 times. Yeah.
Like me and my wife was talking. Like we hope to get away within the first quarter. Hopefully, this first quarter. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And they were strict on that on the COVID stuff too. You walk into a convenience store, they taking your temperature.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah. Everywhere you went. So, you know what I'm saying?
Because ultimately that could jeopardize their business, which is a large percentage of their income. Like out of country business is a lot of percentage of their income.
You take two steps by that little hostess podium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey yo, negro.
None of that. Good thing about it is they don't do you in your head. You stick your arm out, they hit you by your wrist. You know what I'm saying? A couple places at the head joint. But then they give you, some places will give you packets of sanitizer. Some places, they had the thing. Every place had the spot by the door. You do your hand.
Yeah.
So most of the restaurants was open. Even indoor dining, they had a lot of, it was social distancing. Outdoor dining, social distancing. So I felt safe out there. You know what I mean, the whole time. So, I encourage anybody who trying to get out. Look, man, it's gonna be like this for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Real,
at least until I'm thinking the fall before anything will get halfway comfortable. So if you can find some place to go, like another thing that I was talking about when I was out there, like you got to really like a person or be able to be comfortable with yourself to go somewhere where it's not wide open, where it ain't clubs and bars and all that crazy open and stuff like that. Because you got to be able to be content with either who you with and or yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I don't need
a whole bunch of shit around me to have a good time.
Exactly. It's too much. Like, so I got crazy scratch in my arm because of it, but they got something called bioluminescent bed where you go and there's like this plankton in the water and the shit glows at night. You know what I'm saying? It glows like blue. But you can only see it at night if the moon's not crazy. There's two different types of tours. One is a sunset tour where you canoe like through this little, little river and then get to like an open cove part. And then you can see what the cove dude takes a laser pointer, points out the sky and shit. Then he tells you how to see the thing. Put a little tarp over our heads and you splash the water in the canoe and you can see the shit lighting up. So it's kind of dope to see it. But when we was 19 and 20 and 25 and shit going to Miami, you'd have told me I was doing some shit like that. I'm like, son, I'm going to Cameo. Meet me there. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on Collins and be on Ocean. But now I'm older, I'm able, I know myself a little bit more and I've experienced more stuff. The zip lining and the nighttime canoeing and all that type of shit. That's that stuff I wouldn't have thought I enjoyed. I really, really liked it. So, I know I could do stuff like that and not have to be stuck with, it better be a happy hour. Good thing about it out there, you can take the drinks with you. Trees ain't legal out there, not recreationally. It is medicinal. But, we was leaving from California, you could take a pretty good amount out there without no issue.
Right. It could be worked out.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot you could do that. Yeah.
So we was good out there the whole time.
I mean, that's dope. Funny you was talking about, that they good with the COVID out there. And speaking about the COVID, last year COVID really affected all of us, but it also reminds me of a year ago, because we're just about the year anniversary. We are at the year anniversary at what I consider the first thing that happened that started the decline of 2020 for all of us. And that was the death of Kobe and Gigi. And, we are at the anniversary.
I think it was other six people in the plane.
Other six people, yeah. It was horrible. Like, that was the first thing that major wise, nationwide, worldwide, that happened. And, it happened on January 26th of 2020. And here we are a year later. And it's like, wow, it's been a year already. Like, it's
Already.
I mean, I know, people, even myself, it's hard to think about Kobe not being here. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I remember, Dwight, you put in the group chat, yo, Kobe died. I was like, what? Like, that sounded so crazy. I was like, was he sick? And then when, we found out it was the helicopter accident, I was like, yo, it's crazy.
I didn't believe it at first.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of celebrities that we thought died and it was fake.
Yeah.
But this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't kill Eddie Murphy like 4 times over the last few years.
Right. But this shit was, that's news that nobody wanted to hear. Nobody.
I was at a basketball game.
A word?
I found it. Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
I was at I was at a kid's birthday party with my son.
Wow. I was in the crib.
We was in this indoor playground type of thing. And I remember like the parents like, yo, see this, I was standing next to this black lady and we both seemed to be reading the article at the same time. I was like, yo, this real? She was like, yeah, it seemed like it's real. And I remember telling Case when we left that Kobe died. And he was like, and you could tell he, didn't kind of get it, like,
right.
Because one of the first things he asked me was, so he's not going to play for the Lakers no more? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what else to say after that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm messed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I don't know. So I don't know what to tell him. So I just like, we just cooled out. And when we got to the house, we started watching the stuff on TV.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, when it happened, seeing all the NBA players who had to play games that night.
Yeah.
Some people didn't, right? Some people couldn't play.
Struggling. Yeah.
We didn't play. I remember Devin was on the bench, like in tears and shit. Like, it was like, I know that was a tough game. And then didn't LeBron and them, they had to fly. He passed Kobe the night before. Yeah, on the scoring list. They found out Kobe died. They found out Kobe died on the plane coming back over here.
Right, because I remember they showed the footage of LeBron getting off the plane and like hugging somebody or something. Because it's crazy. I just remember feeling like, what? Like what? And then when we found out his daughter was on there and all these other people, like it was crazy, son. It was true.
That's some shit. Like I think Gaddy said it the other day. One of our brothers, he was like, he couldn't imagine having to be Kobe, having to comfort his daughter at that particular time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just,
right.
I can't even fathom having to go through what his mind was going through at that particular time. And then there was a rumor that, that he was holding them when they found us.
Yeah.
And I could totally believe that because I could see me doing the same thing. That's the only thing you could do is hold your child, you know what I'm saying? And try to keep them, safe. But,
yeah, I mean,
2020, took out a lot of impactful people in the culture.
I mean, literally, like this. I mean, last year will go down in history as one of the worst years, in our lifetime, easily.
I can't think of one that was worse than this.
Easily, like
none that we've seen.
Right. I mean, this is that type of year will be in the history books or history online or whatever that kids will learn in the future. Like, wow, this happened. Wow, Daddy. Wow, Grandpa, this happened.
What happened?
They're going to think we're exaggerating.
Exactly.
Like, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
So we couldn't go outside.
You see the pictures. You see that cover on my face. You see that cover on my face. Like that's real shit. Like
the whole world had to wear those. The whole world.
To wear those. Like my daughter graduated from high school last year, and we had a drive-by celebration, and everybody had on masks. Like that's the type of shit that was going on. You know what I'm saying? It's besides the non-responsible people who are immune to COVID and partying like it's not even around.
Atlanta, Miami, and Houston, you mean? It's 2018 in them cities.
Right. It ain't reached there yet,
They got the cure. Like nobody want to admit it.
The cure is in the Hennessy.
The Hennessy and the lean. We didn't know. The lean was working the whole time. We didn't know.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that it was when hearing about Kobe and actually confirming everything. Like it took, even if you wasn't a basketball fan, Kobe was one of those superstar players that even if you don't follow the sport, you knew who he was.
Everybody know Kobe. Yeah.
Right. That's one of those. That's what you call a superstar in the league. They're stars. They're good players. Kobe was a superstar. He transcended. Like even people who don't follow the sport know who he was because he was that much. He was that good. He was that great and that important to the sport that he transcended everybody. You know what I mean? Wait, wasn't was the Grammys that night?
The day after.
The day after. The day after. Okay.
Yeah, it happened
right, because I remember.
He was
going
to a basketball game with us.
Right. Because I remember, because you remember a few years back. I mean, not a few years, but some years back, Whitney Houston died the night before the Grammys too, right? Or the day of the Grammys, and they had to do something quick, like to honor her. It was that weekend.
Wasn't the night of? Because it was Clive Davis' party or something. Like, wasn't it after his party?
Clive's party is after.
Right? Yeah. So and then they still went. Oh, it might have been the night before.
It was the night before. Because no, it was the night before because Jennifer Hudson sang.
Yeah.
At the Grammys.
And then they still went on with the party, and there was people like saying they should have canceled the party.
Yeah. So it was something like that with Kobe. Like it happened the night before, and they made a dedication to him at the Grammys. So that shows you at a music event where he was, he was a basketball star. But that shows you how important he was, and it was, and the Grammys was in LA too.
It also was in Los Angeles.
Right, it was also in Los Angeles. Right.
And one thing I didn't realize, and I think I saw it, but I didn't want to believe it. This is Kobe City.
Yeah.
It ain't Magic Johnson City. It ain't Kareem City. It ain't Tommy Lasorda City. Rest in peace to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kobe City. Kobe is LA, because Kobe got the black people love Kobe, the white people love Kobe, the Mexican people love Kobe Bryant. Mexicans out here will put hands and feet on you over Kobe. So they love Kobe more than any other group I've seen out here. They love Kobe. All the people that was at Staples Center, they was Mexicans there. They love Kobe Bryant. They still rock his jerseys religiously out here every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You saw that when LeBron came.
Yeah.
Like he ain't
they was tight at LeBron.
Yeah.
But LeBron did it right. He came in and made sure that he gave Kobe the respect that he deserved.
Of course, because they were friends too. So
Yeah. But you had to.
Right, you had to, even if they weren't friends. Yeah.
And so like I was watching ESPN the other day, and like a lot of the star players in the league, Kobe was their Jordan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah, they'll argue you down. No, it's a lot of people out here to tell you straight up that Kobe was the best. And
of course.
And have compelling arguments. When they tell you that.
Right. No, I agree. Like, for the most part, he was the one that went out to be, who rose to the challenge to try to be better than MJ. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that, it's nobody else. Besides LeBron, but it's nobody else that you would consider who actually tried to be as good as MJ, and almost, for some people, like you said, he succeeded, and some people he got super close. You know what I mean?
Kobe would have told you straight up and down he better than.
Of course. Yeah, of course. As he should have.
So somebody asked him about Mike one time, and he was like, "I'd have bust Mike's ass." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's, and he believed that. You know what I'm saying? Right. I believe that he'd have gave Jordan a little work. Wouldn't have been no easy go for Mike at all.
But
I don't know.
Like prime,
he mimicked this whole game.
Prime versus
Kobe.
prime, though. Prime versus prime. That's just something we can speculate on.
Yeah, 2 inches taller. Yeah. But Mike had others. Mike had bigger hands. He could palm the ball. Mike could jump higher. You know what I'm saying? He had a couple things over Kobe. Better jumper towards the end. You know what I'm saying? Although Kobe was prolific in that too.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. I mean, even like yesterday was the anniversary of his death, right?
Yes.
Like I couldn't even watch a lot of sports and shit yesterday because every time they had something, they had a tribute to him.
Of course.
Yeah, I didn't watch nothing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel. And it's crazy because it's like, it's one thing because it wasn't like we was gonna see him play basketball anymore, right? So it's one thing to like if we'd have lost somebody in their prime, but he already stopped playing,
right?
But we just what we've seen he mean to the game of basketball, men's and women's basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that he was doing off the court, you know what I'm saying? As, you know, in Hollywood and stuff like that.
Right.
Being a mentor to these, you know, these younger players, stuff that they need. It's like the best of him, which is crazy to think about. The best of him seemed like it was yet to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Not being able to, you know, now I finished playing basketball where that was totally my focus. Now
right.
I got this money, I got the time I can spend with my family.
Right.
And that shit get cut. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and us being fathers, we could all appreciate that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Even more. So we ain't gonna miss the basketball player because the basketball player was already going and we got his highlights forever.
I mean, he won an Oscar. He won an Oscar.
Yeah.
He won an Oscar after his basketball career. So
for
you know what he was headed.
For animated short film. Not a documentary or something like that. Right. Like some shit that he wrote.
Like he was, I mean, ultimately.
Nigga spoke 4 languages, yo.
You know, he died so early, and we all know that. Like he was 42, right? 42 when he died. So, but he had achieved in his life more than most people will achieve in their lives if they live till they're 100.
Yeah. I think it's more the, like I said, the humanity part of it, knowing that.
Oh yeah, of course.
He wasn't gonna be able to spend that time with his family. He had already set it up. Set his life up to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, heard his wife talking about he used to take kids to school or like a, you know, regular, you know, citizen and all that shit.
Right.
So it was just sad to not do that. But the good thing about it is we left with a bunch of great highlights and stories.
Yes, stories, and like his legacy will live on forever. It will live on forever. Like he's made his mark in this world. He's made his mark in this world at 42, then like most people will make in their entire lives.
You double that up.
Like, easy. Like he's made his mark, man.
To piggyback off that, somebody else passed away recently who made a crazy mark in the world, Larry King. Larry King might be the reason why we doing what we doing right now.
Yo, he's interviewed everybody.
You know
Pretty much. He's interviewed everybody.
And did it his way, and got dozens and dozens of people that came after him that he helped and shaped and all that. Like it's a lot of the stuff that, like I said, we watch now. The way people interview people now is what Larry King did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy. Wow, that he was married 8 times. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He had a full life.
He had a full life, yo.
Yeah.
Like,
and usually with the youngin too. You know what I'm saying? So he had a good full life.
Yeah. And him or the people he had around him, they knew what to do because he started interviewing people that weren't part of his peer group. Like he was interviewing people that were part of our peer group.
Yes.
And he was like twice our age. Right? Huh?
He got the Chris Brown interview after Rihanna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He interviewed 50. He's interviewed plenty of people. Will Smith, like he's interviewed plenty of people.
Any celebrity that's worth something.
Any.
He's interviewed foreign dignitaries. He's interviewed activists. You know what I'm saying? And it's always, you've never heard a Larry King interview be some salacious shit. Larry said something that's crazy. He said something that somebody didn't want to talk about.
No.
And even if it's something that he didn't want to talk about, he got them to be able to talk about it by being respectful to them. You know what I'm saying? And being able to, for them to be able to let their guard down and knowing that he's not going to lead them down no path like he Vlad TV or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You have to pray about that, Larry King. You knew that when you got there, he was going to treat you with respect. And, it was going to be a grown up, you know what I'm saying? In the
conversation. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. A conversation is probably
it was a conversation. Because that's what it felt like. You know what I mean? Clearly a legend in the journalism game. I mean, most people who maybe not even watch his interviews heard the name Larry King.
And he had that face with the glasses.
Like
very recognizable dude. He had the crazy voice. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I still bug out like somebody getting married 8 times. I'm like, dog, I don't want to do it after the first one.
Exactly. Like 8 times? Like you felt that way 8 times? Really?
I want to be with this woman forever 8 times.
You know what? You felt that way?
I might have felt that way for 5 minutes.
There's probably no forever in his thinking though. He's like, I like her right now.
He's like, for the time being. For the time being. That's what it is. For the time being. Yo.
Or maybe he was very religious. We didn't know. Maybe just having sex without being married to somebody wasn't something that
was his thing, right? Right. He wasn't Hugh Hefner at this moment.
Was 8 prenups?
Huh? 8
Was
prenups?
8 prenups?
I mean, you never heard about him being in no trouble financially.
Nope.
And you never heard of none of his, ex-wives, slandering him or nothing like that. So either he seemed like a nice guy, maybe he just wasn't a good husband.
Yo, Dwight, now that you bring it up, that is a very special thing to actually get, because there's a few celebrities that's been married 8 times, 7 times. Like that shit
like Liz
sounds
Taylor,
ridiculous to me.
Times,
like, how long was your longest marriage if you've been married that many times? Yeah. You know what I mean? I need to find that out. How long was Larry King's longest marriage out of his 8 times?
But to him, marriage to Larry King might have just been like, we going steady. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Right. It's my girl.
It's my girl. It's my girl.
Yeah, it's my girl. This is me right here. It's me.
It's my girl right now.
Yeah. I'm playing this.
Yeah, I'm taking the easy right now. I'm doing the right thing right now.
It's like when your boy
get married 8 times. I'm not going to the ceremony after 2. So
yeah,
and you're not getting no gift. Definitely not getting no gift.
Right.
You get a card, maybe yo, you good? One of those. Not buying no blender, no air fryer, nothing. You're gonna be married again in 2 years.
Right.
I'm changing my suit. I'm wearing the same thing every morning.
If I start to notice a pattern in your nuptials, like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Like,
not doing it, Playboy. I might not come to your 3rd wedding. I might not come.
He was able to convince 8 women, I'm the guy.
Right. Number 8 was like, you married 7 times before? She knew she wasn't going to be married for him for that much longer. Or maybe she thought, I got to be the last one.
Yeah.
Ha-ha.
Good luck with that.
Ha-ha.
Good luck with that shit.
It's crazy. Yo, you know what? I mean, speaking of somebody, we talking about Larry King, who died recently. Another legend and icon, especially in our community, passed away. Hank Aaron, a legendary baseball player.
Hammer.
Yes, sir.
Hammer.
Legendary. Like,
some people consider him still the true home run king.
Right.
He did it clean. He also did it in a time when he was getting called nigga every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Death threats and all this other type of shit. Although, not for nothing, Barry got the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But
of course,
not to that extent, though.
Yeah, it's different. It was a different time. It was a little earlier.
Because they had hotels with the team, like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, much different time. And he was Hank did a lot of good in the community. Mm-hmm. Always was around the Braves and stuff like that. Always, helped, younger players and talked to them when they came around.
Right.
And it was good to see him, like the way they thought about Babe Ruth at that particular time, and the way they thought about our people at that particular time. Mm-hmm. It was great to see him break it.
Right.
He was a very, and not only that, but he wasn't an asshole. You know what I'm saying? He was a good dude. He was respected throughout the league and everything. And it was good to see him do that with dignity. You
remember one of the iconic videos I remember seeing when I forget which home run it was, but one of the fans ran out on stage while he was running the base. I ran out on the field while he was running one of the base.
Craig Sager.
That was Craig Sager?
It's Craig Sager. He ran around the base right before he hit the 3rd base. There was 2 people that came over and shook his hand. Right. One of the dudes was Craig Sager.
That's crazy. I don't think I ever knew that.
The late great Craig Sager.
Craig Sager with the ill suits and blazers.
The ill suit game. Yeah.
Only on TV though. He's like in regular life he was cool with his dress.
Oh, so that was purposeful. That was purposeful.
Yeah.
He did it on purpose. Okay, I got that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, Hank Aaron was a legend. Like, even if, like, we were talking about Kobe, how he was so big in his sport that like, even if you didn't follow the sport, you knew who he was. Hank Aaron was one of those names.
But that's what we wanted to see Kobe get to.
He was there, kind of.
He was there.
I'm talking about age.
Like,
age. Okay.
Yeah. We wanted to see old Kobe, like Kobe come out All-Star game.
Yeah.
The MVP award might be named after him, like Bill Russell.
Something walking a little crazy because his knees is bothering or something.
Or the Dr. J come through.
Right.
Mad, mad distinguished with the salt and pepper.
Yes,
always
sir.
got the bad one that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Keep a bad one with him all the time.
Right.
So, we want to see him age. And NBA players, because they don't get all beat up like football players, they're able to get into that graceful age. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially the ones who are famous, like the Doc and them, they still got a little bit of money.
Right.
So every time you see them, Doc come through, all he doing is waving his hand, shaking hands, yo.
Yep.
Signing autographs, getting mad love the whole weekend. Every time you see the Doc.
That's it. He still looks the same. He just got hair. He still got all this hair. You know what I'm saying? It's just great. He still looks the same. He's
same chinky hairline from the 80s.
Yeah, still chilling. Like that's what we definitely wanted for Kobe, man. It's a shame we got robbed of that. He didn't get to live the life that Larry King and Hank Aaron did. You know what I mean? But he did make his mark like both of them.
Yeah.
At that young age. You know what I'm saying?
In some aspects, maybe even a bigger one.
Yeah, I would agree. That
he's definitely one of the most recognizable athletes in the world.
I mean, and that's because most of his peers are still alive. Hank Aaron and
True story.
Gary King, their peers may not be alive anymore. So that could be argued. You know what I mean? So to speak. But I mean, all three of them would truly be missed. They were legends in their professions, and they made their mark. Like like I said, even if you don't follow the industry or what they're in, if you know the name, that's a mark right there. You've made your mark.
You definitely know the names Hank Aaron and Larry King.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In American culture, you know what I'm saying, and even worldwide, you know what I'm saying. Those.
Agreed.
Rest in peace.
I like that the Braves kept Hank involved.
Yeah.
All those years.
Right.
Yeah. And I think all teams should do that, regardless of who. Like, if you,
a lot done.
Who gave themselves as much as he gave himself to that organization. He should have had a lifetime deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Go out and represent this organization and get your flowers every day for being the great person that you were.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And I'm glad that he was able to, get that. It seemed like, and he had a hard time when he was getting that record. So hopefully the last 25 years of his life was better than the time that he was in the,
I mean, listen, I don't want to end it here, but I'm gonna have to because he also, there was the conspiracies out there because he had got his COVID vaccine and then he ended up dying. So there was a lot of rumors about people feeling some type of way about that. But I'm not gonna get into it. But I'm just talking. That's the talk out there because he got the vaccine and then But we just want to remember his legacy and what he meant to the culture.
You know who else died right after they supposedly recovered from COVID? Ozone from Breaking.
Yeah.
He had COVID too. Okay.
He had posted on his Instagram page. Rest in peace to him. I think his real name was Adolfo Quinones. You know what I'm saying? But
what was he known in the movie? Shabba-Doo. He was known in the movie
Shabba-Doo. That was actually a street dance name. He was Ozone in the movie.
Right.
But actually used to dance with Rerun. They was in the same crew. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But he had posted the day before he died that he just had COVID. He's feeling a lot better now, and he on the comeback. You know what I'm saying? Then the next day, because I went to because somebody said, I saw it on Twitter, and somebody said, yo, he just got over it. So I went to the Instagram page, and lo and behold, he on there in the bed. But he looked like you saw some of his older pictures. He looked
when I saw his old, he looked the same. He was just gray. He had
some gray hair. Yeah, it looked like
he looked the same.
Yeah,
that was crazy, man. That was crazy.
So that's a reminder to everybody. Even with this vaccine and all that out here, I don't care if you got the vaccine. Still wear a mask. Still wash your hands. Do everything to keep everybody safe, because that shit, you don't know. I've heard people who've had the vaccine and they've caught it again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow!
I've heard people that
because different strands now.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
The coach of the University of South Carolina, Frank something, he caught COVID twice. There's people that think that they get it and then they can't get it again, like it's chicken pox or some shit. Like, nah, dogs, you can get this again.
My thing is, if you're catching it twice, I mean that's horrible. But what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
Fair enough.
It's highly contagious though. Like if you're getting it, it's.
But at some point, if I catch it the first time, I'm doubling, tripling up on whatever I did before. I don't care who mad. No, I'm not coming.
Especially if you went through it and you had symptoms. Like there's some people who have it and don't have no symptoms. But if you went through it and you went through it bad and you came out of it, that's reason enough for you to be even more careful with it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, regardless, we still want everybody to be safe out there because this shit is far from over.
Yeah,
I mean, they talk about opening up schools right now, but we're not even gonna get into that because that's a whole. We have a bunch of friends that are teachers, that are principals and shit like that, and they feel some type of way about them trying to open these schools again, man. It's ridiculous.
Shayla talking about it earlier
today.
today.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shayla, one of our friends who's in the school system, like, I know she felt some type of way about it, and a lot of people feel some type of way, and I get it, but that's a whole nother thing.
But I think schools are open though.
Yeah, a lot of schools open. I thought that they weren't going to send. I don't think in California they're sending kids to school until they get that vaccine.
That should be every school, especially the schools that are hotspots, like in Florida and in Texas, like
California.
It needs to be mandatory. Like if y'all gonna do this, you know what I mean? I had a couple, family members that have taken like the first round of vaccine, and they've had a little side effects, but nothing crazy. Normal side effects you expect, but I totally get it. Like you need to do it, but that's neither here nor there. Just everybody be safe because this shit is still going on. Yeah, you know what I mean? Regardless of who you don't see wearing a mask or whatever, this shit is real. Another thing, we was talking about Hank Aaron and Larry King and Kobe, all them legends. Another few legends I want to talk about, particularly in a movie that we all recently watched that's on Amazon Prime called One Night in Miami. It's loosely based on true events. We don't know how, true it is, but it's based on a night in Miami that four of our legends from our community, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Sam Cooke, and Malcolm X got together on the night that Muhammad Ali, he was still Cassius Clay at this time.
Yeah.
Cassius Clay at this time became champion. He won a fight in Miami, and it was directed
First time he fought Sonny Liston, I believe.
Right. And he was rejected by, it was directed by Regina King, who is a legend in our
legend, yes.
a legend in our community. And I mean, we all said, like, when these movies came out, we was like, we're gonna watch it and we're gonna talk about it. And I have to say, man, this movie was incredible to me. Like the dialogue was the real star. The dialogue between all four of them was the real star.
It's like a play.
It felt like it had the energy of a play. You felt that.
Yeah.
And
all the thing I liked about it, or I was kind of conflicted about it. Me and Marlon had a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie we've seen about Malcolm, they've never really showed how the pressure of what he was dealing with the Nation of Islam, thinking about leaving and knowing that he was getting watched by the FBI, and then the stuff he was dealing with Muhammad Ali, and just a lot of the stuff that was going on, him thinking about leaving the nation and starting his own, movement or whatever. And that was the first time, like, when he was arguing with Sam Cooke, trying to get him to understand that he needs you.
Right.
And he started crying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had never seen that side of him in any other movies or in depictions we've seen in Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? And knowing how we know how human beings and men are, like Malcolm was a young man.
Yeah.
He was in his 30s going through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We forget about that. He wasn't a seasoned, older man in his 50s, 60s and all that. Same thing with, it's crazy. Him and Martin Luther King was so young going through the But knowing, like, seeing Malcolm have to go that, then he talking to his friends, people that, he wanted to wanted them to understand what he was going through, and then couldn't even tell them to the extent of. Remember, he didn't tell Jim Brown about until they had a little separation, and then he talking to him.
And for those who haven't seen it, y'all need to watch it before you watch it anymore. This
it's spoiler alert, but it's been out.
It's spoilers all up in this. It's spoilers because we're talking about the movie. Go ahead.
But it was I thought, like you said, the dialogue was great.
Yeah.
And whoever thought about it, it was just dope. Like during that time, you could see them talking about that.
Yeah.
You could see them going through that. You can see him saying, "Man, I'm out here. This motherfucker's trying to kill me every day, and you on here singing to women." Like,
but here's the thing, and I was watching with my wife. We was watching the movie, and I was like, you know what? I disagree with Malcolm on that part. Like
I do
it's
too.
like because
I
when
thought he was hard on Sam.
yeah, but when Sam explained what he was doing with Bobby Womack and all that, like that's a different avenue to get, because he was thinking economic power,
economic freedom. Yes.
Yeah, it was like I understood where Malcolm was coming from, but it's more now and maybe if I was younger, I probably would agree with Malcolm. But now as I'm older and like it's different, and you open like it's different ways to attack the system, if you will, or you know our way of life. So I respected that dialogue between both of them, and that's how it was. To me, Jim Brown was the most grounded character for some reason. Like he was the guy. Like he played the. I'm not saying he was the most mature or whatever, but for some reason he was the one that was the most even keeled and all. Like it was.
He was the most comfortable in his skin. Everybody else had to deal with some type of identity crisis that they were going with. Jim Brown was, look, I've run through motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
He had to deal with that in the beginning of the movie. Remember with the
Yeah, with the guy.
Yeah, he went back to
the dude's house. We all got niggas in the house.
Yeah, that's different from. That scene.
I was like, whoa.
The cavalier way it rolled off his tongue to somebody that we thought that he loved. This seemed like he loved Brent.
Yeah.
Like that, like he was part of the family.
Right. Especially when Jim Brown was talking about he was like, and I forgot Bo Bridges played the guy. He was like, "Oh, don't worry
about."
Great
actor, by the way.
He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Don't worry about what they say," because I was like, "Oh, he's really on his side."
Exactly.
And then
you hit him with that. Come on, man. You know we don't let niggas in the house. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna get you.
I was like,
grab that for you. You stand right here. I'll be right back though.
Yo, listen. What our people have been through, man, I can't even imagine. Like, and Jim Brown, for those who don't know, Jim Brown is the only one that's still alive through this. Out of the four, right. And you know, Sam Cooke and Malcolm X died early. Muhammad Ali had a battle with Parkinson's, but he died later in life, and Jim Brown is the only one still alive. So, and he's not telling how much of it is true or what, you know what I'm saying? He's keeping it. And I can appreciate that.
I respect that.
I can appreciate
I like the fact that he's, because he probably like, we was talking about some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to smash with Sam.
Right.
I was trying to grab these chicks.
That's incredible to me. Like he just won the championship and we in the hotel room before.
Exactly. When we was watching with my wife, I was like, listen, these are the four biggest stars in their fields.
Yeah.
I mean, Malcolm X, quote unquote, wasn't a star, but he was well known for what he was doing.
Very famous for what
he was doing. And I was just like, can you imagine? That's crazy. Back then?
Now, Malcolm, you gotta hang out for a bit. We'll be back.
Right. I mean, and Muhammad Ali was what, 22?
Yeah.
He was young. And ready. Come on, fam. Come on.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, Malcolm would have met me on college. You know what I'm saying? I dig all that you saying, brother. Trust me.
But I just won the championship. I'm
the heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, and I'm 22 years old. I will holler at you later.
Yeah.
Dead ass, I'll be back.
My man over here can sing too.
Right.
Guitar?
Like, come on.
Guitar. And I'm with the best football player of all time. Yeah, we're gonna be right back, brother. You stay right.
Yeah, we're gonna sit in this room and chill and talk. Yeah. We're gonna sit here and talk and eat ice cream.
Yeah. Room 112. Yo, I got it right here, brother. I'll be right back. Run over here.
Yo, one of the best moments, and I'll probably will be repeating it, is when they all went to the roof of the hotel, and they were talking, and then the Nation of Islam, who was watching Malcolm X, came up and he was arguing with Jim Brown, and he was like, God is great. Yo, he said, yo, my man was like, God is great. Like the way he's like, because they was about to get into it.
Yeah.
I forgot exactly for what.
Jim told him what it was about though.
Oh, right.
He's like, yo, don't try me.
That's nothing. The brother from the FOI probably said to himself, this is Jim Brown. I've seen him run through every weekend for the last 5 years.
He was like,
you know what, bro? You got it. I know you ain't gonna hurt him. You know what I'm saying? We can put right here. You know what I'm saying? Let me know you need.
Right. He's like, I run through niggas for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I hurt people for it.
for real, he was. I mean, ultimately, this movie was like I said, the dialogue was the main character in this movie, man. I appreciated the conversations each one of them had. Like it was really good from
It was
that
also
perspective.
great to see something like that so different on the screen with us in it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of our stuff be kind of cliche, you know what I mean? Or it'd be a lot of suffering and stuff like that when it comes to stories and all that. But that whole thing was about celebration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And about, friends and stuff talking. And it was good to see during that dialogue that you talk about when Malcolm got what Sam was talking about. Remember when he told the story about when he went to go see him in Boston? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
When Sam appreciated what Malcolm was going through after, Muhammad Ali was talking to him. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it was just good to see that. And those are very strong black male characters in our in our history. You know what I'm saying? So it was just shout out to Regina King, and I wish I could remember who wrote the joint, because that was also a good person to know. But shout out to everybody behind that. That was a excellent
excellent film.
And then y'all, I didn't get a chance to see all of American Skin. I saw half of it on the plane before I nodded out from the mojitos. But I haven't heard nothing but good things about that as well.
Man, listen, Americans, like, for those who haven't seen it yet, you need to
give us everybody the premise of it real quick.
American Skin is a movie written and directed by Nate Parker. Nate Parker is an actor, director, producer, a black man, and I guess was Birth of a Nation his first directorial debut?
Yeah, I guess for directing, I think.
Directing, okay.
He's been a bunch of movies.
I've seen him in a bunch of movies, but
great actor too.
Great actor. So clearly, after seeing Birth of a Nation and seeing, he's about our culture and our struggle. Like, and the premise of this movie is basically about a man who served in the military, a vet of the military, who comes home and has to work at a school in a better neighborhood so his son can get a better education. And they get pulled over in that neighborhood by cops, and the cops end up killing his son in front of him. And from there on, it is, there's I don't know if I guess they're in college. The documentary kids who want to document and talk to.
I don't think so.
They were college, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Talk to Nate Parker about the loss of his son during and telling his story of what happened and why everything happened and how he feels about it. But after that, these kids who are filming this documentary become part of something that's way bigger, way more than they expected. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to give it all away, but
give spoilers.
Do we want to? Oh, well, you know what?
You know what? Yeah, we are.
You know what?
Give spoilers.
You know what?
We're telling you right now that spoilers are coming.
The movie's
available on Amazon Prime. You can buy it in other places too for like
support it.
Yeah, go ahead and support it.
I bought it, $12.99. Buy it.
Yeah, I bought it too. $12.99, and it's well worth it.
I think executive produced by Spike Lee, correct?
Yes. Correct.
I can feel Spike's influence on it too.
Yes. So basically, Nate Parker's character son was killed by the police, and he, after waiting to see if the justice system does what it's supposed to do, and they don't do what they're supposed to do against the cops, no surprise there, he seeks to get justice for himself and to put that cop who killed his son on trial himself. And they storm the police station and they take hostages and they have a trial in the police station with some of the prisoners in the police station as the jury.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? While the cop pleads his case.
Right.
I mean, listen, first of all,
I'm about to watch the rest of that tonight.
Nate Parker's character was named Lincoln Jefferson.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
first. Okay? Let's take a moment with that.
Yeah.
Lincoln
That name,
Jefferson.
that name smelled like fried chicken in college. and, and Frank's Red Hot.
Listen, I watched a great interview with Nate Parker on Hot 97 with him, Rosenberg, and Ebro about the film. It was a great interview. For those who haven't seen it, go to Hot 97 YouTube page, look for Nate Parker. He gives a great interview about the movie. Like, and when he talks about it, you can see that he is so passionate about our culture, our community, and what has gone in this country as it pertains to Black people. Like, you can see it. And when you see the movie and you see him, he's like, oh, this makes sense. I can see why he made this movie. You know, he talked about how he had to take his nephew in from his sister in Virginia because, you know, his father was in jail and, you know, I guess he was going down the wrong path. So Nate Parker had to take his nephew to California so he could put him through school or whatever. And he said and this was back when Mike Brown was killed and they were watching it on TV and talking about, I think his nephew asked him, so what do I do when the cops pull me over? And he was like, I had to explain to him, like, well, you know, make sure you don't do any sudden moves and all. Like he was going through the most of what he had, and he felt bad having to tell his nephew this. So hearing him tell that story, I can understand why he made a movie like this movie was so real, so raw. And I like the fact that, because I didn't realize that it was really told from the perspective of the kids filming the movie for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was really interesting. And they was like, the kids were shook when they realized what was going on. They was like, do we keep filming? And he told them, he was like, whatever you do, don't stop filming.
Oh, so when he stormed the police station, they didn't know.
Listen,
he took them
before
hostage.
that.
He took the camera hostage too.
Yeah, because they were going to follow him one day.
He was shits that day.
Right. When
they was driving with him, he's like, hold on, I gotta make a stop.
And he went to pick up. Right.
He come out with the police chief.
Right. And the shirt not even buttoned all the way. His uniform shirt not even buttoned all the way. And he got him out of bed. And like, put your uniform
homie out of bed,
I'm definitely watching the second half of that shit too.
Listen. We talk about intent. I'm talking about, I was trying to hold the tears back. It was intense. Like, you're going to feel something about this movie, especially the dialogue during the trial. Yeah. During that trial, it was rough. It was rough. It was really.
One thing about Nate Parker, at least the things that he's been involved with, you know, as far as being a writer and producer, he don't play it, like you said. You could tell that he really, really cares about that.
Yes.
And even if it's going to be a tough pill to swallow, he's going to tell the story. You know what I mean?
I think he could have made it a little tougher in some points.
Okay, yeah, you said yeah, you felt a way about the second part of the movie. Talk about it.
I mean, I love the concept. I appreciate what he's doing. It's a great movie.
Right.
A couple of things. The kid in the movie. I mean, I've had that conversation with Noah.
Okay.
That conversation he had in the beginning.
Right.
About what happens when cops stop you.
Yeah.
And your rights, whatever.
Right.
And like, you don't really have any rights.
Right.
I've had that conversation with Noah, and it's tough to tell your kid who sees you being a man, a strong man, that you gotta listen to this man. Right. Tell you and do whatever he says to do so you can come home.
Right.
But the kid got shot in the back. That was never mentioned.
Right.
He was running away. He got shot in the back. That was never mentioned in the whole movie.
But that's because we saw it, though.
We saw it, but when during the trial, when he's giving his point of view, he's explaining what happened, the police report, whatever, that was never mentioned. That the kid was shot in the back. You don't you don't get off of that.
Right.
Shit.
I mean, you do, but
Blake gets shot in the back 8 times. Yeah. It was, you know, wherever that was in Wisconsin or something, and they didn't even charge the cop.
Yeah. He thought thought it was a taser or something.
Yeah, I thought he was going for a taser and shot him 8 times in the back. Like, okay, look, even if you did think that was the case, right? You had to shoot him 8 times.
Because cops are scared. Like, they're not.
They're scared. They're scared.
They're scared. Their training doesn't. Like the cop was saying, he's doing what he was trained to do.
That's what he said. We were doing what we were trained to do. That's crazy.
But you know what else? Another thing when it comes to those type of things, you know, when people say, "Well, you could just shoot him in the leg and all that shit."
Nah,
they're not trained for that.
Nah.
They trained to stop.
Send a mass.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They trained to stop you for good. you know. And if they come up with the my life was in jeopardy or I'm scared for my life,
Right.
that's what they do. And besides, if you try to shoot somebody in the leg and you miss,
right,
Yeah.
You might get you and somebody else killed. You know what I mean?
But it's different how they feel their lives are in jeopardy when it's us and not them. Them dudes them dudes storming the Capitol, punching glasses, pushing them over. Ain't nobody get popped. Well, one person, but
I mean, I'm glad some of these stories getting told. I just wish that, like, a bunch of black people gonna see American Skin, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
How many white people gonna see American Skin and understand like that's really the type of stuff that our people go through? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people that wild out too.
Yeah,
but
I think
more times than not. I can't say more times than not. Too many times, there are times when that type of force isn't warranted, and it only happens with us. And that shit that happened at the Capitol, like you said, Teef, is a glaring, example of that. That actually showed white people, like, they were astonished to see the cops taking the selfies and opening it up and all that type of shit. And we was like, we've been trying to tell y'all this shit since our grandparents was younger than us. Since our grandparents was teenagers, they've been going through the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
go ahead, Teef.
Another thing like what was their plan, JP?
What you mean? Oh, you mean all of them? Nate Parker?
Yeah. What was the end plan?
I think it was just to have the trial. Ultimately.
Okay, but let's take it real life. Okay,
that was Nate Parker's. That was Nate Parker's character's only kid in the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if that's the case, his plan was make this man pay by any means necessary. If that means I gotta die in it, then it's whatever. That's what.
It didn't feel like that. Like, when you go in a situation like that, okay, this is me. This is us.
Right.
I said, y'all rolling with me. We're going to take over the police station.
Right.
We going in there like we ain't coming out.
I think. Well, Amari Harwood's character was ready to die because he was dying.
He was
dying anyway, right?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like, okay, I love what Nate did. I mean, he made it tough. He made it like impactful. Some stuff you have to think about. One, the cops should have got it too. No, seriously, for movie purposes.
I get you. Okay.
Movie purposes, right?
Okay.
If you know what's going to happen, I'm not going to get the whole end, but if you know what's going to happen at the end, right? One, the cops got to go. Because the plan is like, we're not walking out of here. This is not what we came for.
Especially, and I agree with you, especially when he had the conversation with his son's mother on the phone talking about why we always got to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
So didn't we say
everybody
that on
uses
4 of our
force except
podcast
us.
episodes? Why we gotta be the bigger ones? Why we gotta be the ones that say nah, not us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody else get the wild out.
Right. I agree. But it's one of those things where I think like at the not at the very end, but towards the end when he decided he was guilty and he went through the motions, he was like, I wanted you to feel what I felt. That's what he like, because from the trailer, I thought it was going to go down way more than it actually did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was expecting.
That's what I was expecting too.
And that's what I expected. If I see we're taking over a police station.
Right. That was just how they got in.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So like it made us feel like, oh, this is about to be some real shit. So it didn't end how I thought it was going to end, but it still ended great. But I get what you're saying. I totally get.
Y'all thought it was gonna go out like a James Cagney movie, like.
No, for as good as the movie is, I think he made the ending safe.
Last scene is the police station in.
You know what, Teef? Say that again.
For as good as the movie is, I think he made the ending safe.
That's interesting. You know what? And I won't necessarily disagree with you there because I feel like because once they started coming out, I was like, something's about to happen. And I'm like, and then when it happened, I was like, oh man, I kind of knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't realize it was gonna happen till right before the very end.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I agree with you because I felt like, oh, this is about to be some Like they about to make a movie that we've never seen before.
Right. That's
like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was about to be like
he about to get blackballed again. Like what?
Right.
But you know what though? Maybe that's part of the safe ending. Because if he'd have made a video like most black people think something like that would have ended with 9 or 10 dead cops and then him dying or something like that in a hail of gunfire, then everybody would have said, not only are you misogynistic and a rapist, but now you hate police too. You know what I'm saying? Would have been somebody out there that would have painted him in like that instead of looking at the art of it and seeing what he did well. You know, so I felt sorry for him when The Birth of the Nation came out. And the funny thing is, like, when you heard those, you know what? Let me stop.
Let me stop.
I should be able to talk about Nate Parker and not bring up that bullshit. So I'm not
Right.
going to bring that up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't like he was found guilty and none that he didn't go to jail for none of that shit. Charges was actually dropped. That man is an excellent story.
And that derailed that whole movie.
Yeah. And who knows? They might have brought up some other shit that he might have done when he was fucking 10 years old to take the focus off the movie. You know what I mean? But I just hope we want everybody. If you haven't seen American Skin or One Night in Miami, please see those movies. American Skin and One Miami are on Amazon Prime. I think American Skin is probably on all the streaming platforms. You just have to pay for it. But if you have Amazon
Prime, I think One Night in Miami is free.
It's free. It's free. Yeah. Definitely go check those.
Go watch both.
Yes, definitely go check those out. You know what I'm saying?
Before we go, let's shout out the new president, Joe Biden, and our new vice president, Kamala Harris. I was out of town when the inauguration came on, but it was. It seems like it's been a good start for them.
Yeah.
So let's hope that they keep some of the promises. Need that stimmy, Joe. Need that stimmy.
You keep J-Lo away from the mic.
Right.
Yeah,
oh God.
You know what? I only saw. I looked for that highlight when you posted it on the group chat. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, let me go see what Teacher's talking about. I was lit too. So I went on my phone to go see it. I'm like, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, maybe not. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
and then
said,
who cleared?
Let's keep it a buck though. I posted on maybe I think it was Facebook. This meme, like the only person that's working in J-Lo's trainer, harder than J-Lo's trainer, is her manager, because she got the Super Bowl, New Year's Eve, and inauguration in 1 year.
Rock Nation, right?
No, Benny Medina. He's still her manager.
Still with Benny?
Yeah, she's still with Benny. I think she's still with Benny.
They've been together from the beginning.
Yeah, because I think there was a picture with her kissing A-Rod on the Capitol steps, and Benny was sitting right next to her. So
they've been getting money together for a long time.
Shout out to our new Vice President Kamala Harris. You know, I posted on Facebook. I'm so mad that COVID is going on, because if it wasn't, DC would have been popping that night.
I said that on November 4th. I was like, yo, the real sadness in all this shit is the pink and green wave. Actually, not even that. Not just but they'd have been deep.
Women in period.
Black women period.
DC would have been
Black Women March.
Listen, DC would have been, and listen, we all would have been. Well, I don't know about you. You know what? Like Latif, we'd have been down. Something would have been. We'd have been there. It'd have been worth it.
No way in the world I'd have missed that.
You can't miss something like that.
So me and Alex went to Barack's inauguration. It was 18 degrees out there.
I went to one of the balls that night.
Yeah.
They had to take the freaking
balls that night. Me and Dog went to one at the Kennedy Center.
You're talking about the first one, right? The first one or the second one?
The first one.
I didn't go to the second one. The first one was the only one that counted, I think.
Yeah, the first inauguration. I went to the first inauguration. I went to that one.
Yeah.
I went to that one.
It was just great. That's just great to see.
It was great to see. It was great to see Michelle and Kamala. Oh my gosh, she, you know.
With that.
She always breaks the internet. Like she always breaks the internet. You know what I mean? When she come on, but
she had a whole lot of. Oh, y'all forgot that I was the baddest bitch ever to walk these walls energy. When she came out there with that monochromatic, with like the purple joint on, the long coat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Looking like the sexiest villain. Looking like the sexiest villain ever.
Old Dirty at the Grammys. Old Dirty when he crashed the Grammys energy. Remember how fly his outfit on? Old Dirty had the full length burgundy trench coat
with the white scarf, with the white scarf, with the white scarf,
with the fedora, son, the pinstripe suit. I was like, yo.
I remember watching that, like Wu-Tang love the kids. Wu-Tang love the kids.
Shout out to Old Dirty too, man, up in heaven, man. Good for you. You gave us a moment we will never, ever, ever forget.
It was definitely a sight to see. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the first Black and Asian American woman sworn into office as the vice president. Like it's incredible.
My daughter watched that. My kids was
it's a big deal.
My kids had 8 years of Barack as president. My son only knew Barack as president until the Orange nigga came around.
Dope.
Then now they're gonna see, the first female, first female VP and the first black VP. Right? So
let Latif tell her he thinks that Kamala is gonna be president next year.
Yo,
she might be president next year too.
I don't doubt that. Look, Joe Biden is 75, right? And every time you see him speak, you say, "Is he gonna make it?" Like nobody would be surprised. I mean, I hope he don't. Let me knock on wood. But nobody would be surprised if 6 months from now he said, "Joe, I got to check out because of some health issue or something like that." I could easily see. I'll be shocked if he finishes 4 years.
Wow.
And no, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's gonna die and like that. I hope not.
But he is the oldest president, right?
Yeah. He's 77, and he just say anything. I think he on the way out up here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And
so he really needs his advisors.
I don't know if he's gonna make it through 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Barack became president, and then they showed him like 3 years into his term how gray his hair was and how many lines he got in his face from the stress. Like now, Joe Biden had been through a lot of stress. He lost 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? Lost a wife.
I mean, yep.
He ain't like he ain't used to going through shit, but he also didn't go through that shit when he was 77 years old. So I hope he do make it. But I also wouldn't be bad at the Kamala being the Kamala.
Imagine that.
The president. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen. There will be a AKA party thrown after that, and you can best believe that White will be there to do it.
Yeah, the world will be open back up by then. You know what I'm saying? But God bless them both, man. I mean, it was great to see. It was great to see, and we hope. We're not sitting here thinking everything's going to change immediately. We just hoping we're going in a new direction, and we all going to do our part to work towards that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So with that said, thank you all for tuning in to episode 13. You know what I mean? We gotta get up out of here. But until next time, y'all, peace.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes, please. Oh, let me not forget. I'm bad with that. Like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff because we need to grow this thing. It takes a village, and you are our village. So we gotta keep doing this, y'all. We love y'all, man. Yeah. Keep hitting us up, man. Peace.
Thank you. That's a good one.